I just had a moment because I was confused because in my notes I thought I hadn't done um, Sword of Secrets because I had the video mislabeled for only one book, and I was completely certain that I talked about it. So that's good. Um, so now I'm gonna do a shout out for a mystery book. It's called Deadwood, the Deadwood series, and I mean it's not bad, but I guess it's just not for me. I like mysteries because I like Johnny Dollar, but that's about it now that I think about it. I can't think of like any other genuine mysteries that I would watch that I actively enjoyed. Maybe The Ghost Whisperer, if that counts. Um, yeah. Uh, like reading things like this bores me. I guess my imagination is just too active, but there's a paranormal mystery later down the line. She's a Shinigami detective, so I'm gonna read that and we're gonna see if that's good. Um, Remember how I said I was gonna try and like finish all of the books that I read? I don't actually remember reading Defender. It's part of the Sanctuary series. This is a different book. I'm not sure if I read this book like all the way through. Maybe I think I did. I just skipped over a lot of it because I got bored. Um, so Cyrus and his two guild brothers go on a mission to kill a dragon with a bunch of other people. They're not part of the guild, it's just the three of them, but whatever. It doesn't go very well. Cyrus gets propositioned by a dragon to like turn on his friends, but Cyrus refuses. They escape, and then they can join a guild called Sanctuary. So the three of them do, and they're going to Intera to overthrow the royal family. The book just goes very slowly. There are lots and lots of people besides Cyrus and his friends. There's Vara and Orion and a shapeshifter, and I couldn't remember everyone if I tried. They have a kerfuffle, and Narston gets very badly injured. That's one of Cyrus's guild brothers. He might not be dead, but it's like all of the goblins were waiting for them, and Narston is dead. At that point we find out that he is dead. There's lots of fighting, things happening, fighting. Time keeps going on. I man, um, those two friends that Cyrus was close to feel very far away now. His two guild brothers from the beginning of the story. There's just there's so much happening that it's impossible for me to cover like everything because there's just that much happening, and there's a point where show don't tell becomes a little bit gratuitous, and I think this book is a good example of that. Um, they do end up taking down a dragon. Um, there's a coup being planned for the guild. Cyrus doesn't want any part of it, but the guild master and other um, fighters want him to be the leader instead of Orion. Orion gets verbally attacked, and they call him a coward. I'm skipping over a lot of stuff because there's just not a whole lot to remember because so much happened. um, like, uh, the guildmaster is like, my guy, you can't do that. And, yeah, people are now leaving because they agree with the guy who started the coup about Orion being a weak leader. And Cyrus is and a few others are still there, and now they have to rebuild. I didn't finish it. like, so this book kind of reminds me of Game of Thrones. Not the plot or how it's written or how I feel like it should have been written, but we experience most of this from Cyrus's point of view, and I feel like it doesn't work for two main reasons. Like, I am lost the whole time. The whole part that I read, I don't even know how far I got. The whole part that I read, I was just lost. At least with like the sweetest kill, I knew what was happening. And like Burn District, I knew what was happening, I just didn't care. This one I feel like I could care about it, but there's just so much clutter happening that I can't focus on the main plot. And then like there's just a lot happening. And imagine if like the entirety of Game of Thrones happened from like one character's perspective. Because first of all, it wouldn't work because we miss out on the entirety of Daenerys's plot point, and we'd also miss out on Jon, and once Sansa and Arya are separated, and Bran, and we'd miss all of that. Like, that's what it feels like. I feel like this book needed to be from multiple perspectives. Like, I got a little over halfway through, and there's some fighting, and I can tell you events that happen, but not really the main plot. When I'm trying to read it, my head feels heavy, which shouldn't be happening. And the second reason is because there are way too many characters in this book. Like, yeah, there are a lot of characters in Game of Thrones, but we always have the characters that we're following. So it's Jaime, Cersei, Ned for a while, Catelyn for a while, Bran, Arya slash Kat, Sansa slash Alysanne, and did I already say Danny? I don't know if I already said Danny, and Jon. Um, we follow Brienne for a little bit. I think Podrick has a chapter. Like, you always know, and I think not Stannis, but the guy who's always with Stan, Davos. I think Davos has a chapter for a little bit, so you always know who you're following. You're never like confused about which character's point of view you're seeing this from. In this book, we are only getting Cyrus's point of view, and he's meeting all of these people, and we as the reader are expected to remember their names as well because they keep popping back up, except for Narston, obviously. But it's like I can't follow along. There's too much happening in this book for me to follow along with everything. And it's really annoying. Like, the plot would probably also be a lot clearer if we were following it from multiple characters' perspectives. Because yeah, each character has their own like story progression going on in Game of Thrones, but we all know what the main plot of Game of Thrones is. It's the title of the show and slash book. Um and then so the Sanctuary series and Deadwood actually end up underneath The Sweetest Kill, both of them. It's Sanctuary and then Deadwood. I'm kind of shocked that and it's above Burn District. I'm kind of shocked that there's anything underneath The Sweetest Kill, but I guess that whole section of books is just going to be all of the books that I didn't finish and where I rate them and why. God, there's so much happening.